Good morning. I am Tom Merrill, grateful member of this community. And please take this time to greet your neighbor. Good morning. And this is also the time to make sure that you've turned off your cell phones, beepers, pagers. Do people still have pagers? And connect with the spirit and music of this morning. I want to welcome you to Golden Gate Center, where we honor wherever you are on your spiritual path, knowing that there is something here for you this day in the words and music that we share. This will follow with the PowerPoint, the chant for the morning, followed by spiritual mind treatment from our very own Reverend Karyl. Good morning.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
And taking that feeling of grace deep within our hearts, I know that grace is a gift from the infinite indwelling Spirit, as is love and joy and peace. I know that indwelling life that I call God creates, recreates, sustains, envelops all creation in those life-giving qualities, that they are in their fullness in every corner, in every heart. And so I know that God's peace resides in me and around me. I know that divine love is showered upon me every moment and moves forth into the world from me. I know that joy bubbles just like a spring around me and in me, and it moves forth from me. All of the life-giving qualities are showered, are given, are thrust into the world. I know this for me, this experience, and for everyone here. I know this experience for everyone that was and is at the Olympics. I know this for everyone who is troubled by the violence in our world. I know that peace is that universal healer to which we can turn at any moment, in every moment. And so it is that I claim for each heart here, if there be any distress at all, to give it, to just give that distress into this space, whereby the love, the peace, the power, the joy, the creativity, the beauty, the expansiveness, the harmony, the abundance of the indwelling Spirit may take it, transform it, and turn it into the world again as life-giving energy. So I give my thanks for not only this possibility, but the knowingness that this is the way the world works. This is the way the universe works. This is the way life works. And as I work with it, my life is enveloped in those life-giving qualities. And so I release this word now, knowing that it has hit its mark. It is in the divine law for the creation, and it is in the heart of the hearers, so that all may say, "Me too." I release this now and declare it to be so, and so it is. Amen. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're here, that I'm here. I see people that I've known for years that are back after a long time. I see faces that I've never seen before. I see people streaming in, and everybody on the web. Good morning, worldwide. So this morning we have a wonderful guest artist, Liz Addison, who's been with us a number of times. Liz has CDs, she has songbooks, and she has stories of Africa because she just came back from Africa. So she's all inspired by the women of Kenya and Tanzania. So if you would please help me welcome Liz Addison.
Thank you so much. And Bodhi emailed me. I was in Tanzania. I didn't have Wi-Fi much. He said, "Can you work on August 12th?" I said, "I'm in Africa." "Okay, I'll be home." So it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me. What makes the distance close between us? What makes the distance far? What makes the difference grow between us and exactly who we are? Who we are, who we are. What makes me feel that I already know who it is that you are? Was there a time we met in battle once in a faraway war? In a far away star. If I look into your eyes, will you no longer be a stranger to me? A stranger to me. I will look into your eyes and then you'll see how I am you and you are me. I will look into your
do? Will you turn away or look right through me to you? What will you do? Now I will weave a web to wrap up and dream away, because I want to get to know you just as you are today, as you are today. I will look into your eyes. You will no longer be, you will no longer be a stranger to me. I will look into your eyes. 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 Thank you. I can look in your eyes when I take my glasses off.
Good morning. Am I on here? I'm Reverend Sarah Hargrave, staff minister at this wonderful spiritual community, and so glad to see all of you here. We always like to start with gratitude. And today we're going to have gratitude for the Heart to Heart team. Would anybody who's ever been served on the Heart to Heart team stand up so we can give you a nice applause? This is the team that provides company and prayers and rides and meals to people who need help, who are infirm and undergoing medical procedures. So these people are angels, and there's a table somewhere over here. Now it's in the back. I was going to point back there. That you can go and find out more, and maybe you want to volunteer as well. We have children blessing. It looks like we have adult children today. I have a friend who said at a certain age she realized there is no grown-ups. that she's never going to grow up. So we send these adults off, young adults, to talk about the image and likeness of God. So thank you for all you do for children. Reverend Luzette is going to be here. How many of you know Reverend Luzette from before? She used to have a center close to here, and so it'll be great to have her back. She's doing a workshop. She's going to be doing the Sunday service with Reverend Karyl, and also offering a workshop called Heal the Inner Critic. So it'll be special to have her back in this area, and if you know of other people who were in her community or ever attended her community, let them know that she's back, and so that they can join us. That's next week, yes. Thank you. Joel Fotinas, who is a publisher and a minister and an author, will be here Saturday, September the 1st, to give a fabulous workshop on Think and Grow Rich. You have a flyer on that, I think. If you don't have it with you, it's on the events table. There's also a flyer for Reverend Luzette's workshop on the table. Mike Robbins and his wife, Michelle, are going to be here to speak and give a workshop on loving relationships on Sunday, September the 16th. And Karyl, you want to say something about?
Well, today I have a book signing. Thank you. You've probably seen me hold this book now for a couple of months. This is my proof copy. Now it's got all my notes and energy in it, but you can have your own copy. And it is a compilation of the inspiring ideas from mystics and, scientists, naturalists, transcendentalists, presidents, different cultures, holy writings, actors, novelists, poets, A lot of the quotes that I use all the time that inspire me, that's why I did it actually, because all of these inspire me. And now it can be yours. So if it weren't for you and me together, this would not have happened. Thank you.
We have fall classes coming up, and there's a flyer that tells both the classes that are coming up. There's Foundations class, new Foundations class, and that's Reverend Karyl starting in September the 27th for 11th week. And I will also be doing a success group, and that's going to start on September the 10th for 4 weeks. It's looking at how you can apply spiritual principles in every area of your life for greater success. So I'd love to have you join me for that. And then Bob Pleth has something he wants to say. And
be very fast. I just want to thank everybody in the community for helping out with the International Forgiveness Day, whether you were there or not. I appreciate it. I really feel like this wonderful church, and Karyl, I'm very grateful to you for everything, for the great help. It couldn't be done without you, to tell the truth. And I'm very grateful and very deeply appreciative. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, every one of you, whether you were there or not. Woo!
And now, our wonderful spiritual leader, Reverend Karyl.
So the minute is absolutely perfect, because on our ministers' listserv for our denomination, there has appeared a request from the Sikhs of Milwaukee that at 10:20 this morning, we honor the peace that they honor. And that is exactly how it has appeared on the listserv. So I'd like to actually do another prayer for peace, because peace is our topic this morning as well. So as we turn within and know that the source of peace is at the center of each heart, I myself know that the eternal presence of God as peace lives in me and around me. And in this moment, I remember a peaceful day. And I invite each person to remember a time when all was well. In that felt sense, in that place where there is no doubt, there is no concern, there is infinite well-being of all kinds. And as I remember that moment, that feeling comes over me so strongly that all I can remember is peace. And as I remember this peace in every cell, and in my thoughts and in my words, in my mind's eye, seeing exactly where I was and feeling the temperature of the air and hearing the sounds that I was hearing, that peace is what I breathe into. And as I breathe out that peace. And that peace, on that sweet element of air, moves from me around the world. And it touches those places where they have forgotten peace. And it honors those places where peace is remembered. And so in this moment, I honor with my breathing, with my remembering, the peace that the Sikhs honor. And then I remember the peace that all seekers of any faith honor. And then I honor the peace that all people wish for at every moment, even when they're not experiencing it. I honor that peace. And then I honor the peace that is continuously given, that we can turn to at any moment. And so in this moment, I reside in peace. I am so grateful. And I release this word into the law so that more peace may be my continual experience. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. So, peace is our word for the day. For those of you that haven't been with us right along, we have a word each week this whole year. And I encourage you to create your own affirmations and your own action steps based on this word. And the way we visually have it is on that tree called Tools for Transformation. And so the whole theme of August is cultivating peace. And my title for the talk this morning, Peace Like a Mighty River. I thought I was quoting Martin Luther King Jr. in the I Have a Dream speech. It's not quite, but the quote is from the Bible, "Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream." That's from the prophetic book in the Old Testament by the prophet Amos. And so it's like the quote that I was thinking of, which is actually, it's from Isaiah. And Isaiah is a major prophet of the Old Testament. And now let me just explain about prophets of the Old Testament. The prophets did not speak so much of the future, but they spoke the truth, just like I did in the prayer. It was the unvarnished truth that they spoke, and then any ear that heard it would take it in and live it. So the verse from Isaiah is actually Yahweh, God, speaking about Jerusalem. And what Isaiah quotes is, "I will extend peace to her like a river, and the wealth of the nations like a flooding stream." So we know that holy writings, whether they are the Old Testament, the New Testament, the writings of Buddha, the writings of Muhammad, the writings of the great whoever, Zoroaster, all those masters, it's to everybody. So it's not just some ancient desert god speaking to the stiff-necked people of his chosen people. Those of the Israelites, he called them the stiff-necked people. But they were the chosen ones. But we're all the chosen ones. And so when this is spoken, it is spoken to all of us. So I'm going to read it again differently. "I will extend peace to you like a river, and the wealth of the nations like a flooding stream." So what this means to me is that the infinite is giving in unending amounts life-giving qualities. In this instance, peace everlasting, abundance everlasting. And so as we breathe in that peace, as we contemplate it, as we remember it, like we did in the prayer, it rises up around us because it's always there. It's just like turning to the hills when you drive along Highway 101 and you go, oh, the hills are always there, but now I'm noticing them and how beautiful they are. You know, that's why this is called the Golden State. It's because for half the year the hills are golden. And so peace is always there, just like the hills of Marin and Sonoma County. So, but the writer uses the word river and mighty stream. So when we see that, and this is my altar this morning, I'm so happy to be able to have done the altar. I've got the mighty stream there, and I have here the animal kingdom with the little stag. I have the divine kingdom with the Buddha, and I have here a conversation between two people that you can put yourself there, And what would really work is to put yourself there and someone that you might be having a little trouble with. Here is a little baby peace pole. And what is also true is that beside each one of us is an angel that is guiding us when we let that happen. So this river is absolutely giving this to us all the time. And if you were able to get yourself into that space of absolute peace through that little prayer and meditation of remembering a peaceful time, what I notice, and I've imagined you notice this too because I've talked to people about it, is that when we're in peace, we are in this intense well-being that includes the other qualities. So when we're in peace, it's very easy to love. When we're in peace, it's very easy to notice beauty. When we're in peace, that joy bubbles up absolutely naturally. And if we, in this peaceful state, ask for a new idea, just say, I'd like a new idea. Creativity comes crashing into our mind because peace is like a kind of a mega quality and includes all of the rest. People are pleasing, there's nothing to fight for, everything's fine, there's well-being, and it's all right here. We're in the midst of it. And so peace becomes this all-encompassing quality that includes love, beauty, joy, creativity, and so forth. The other thing about, you know, if I were doing this over again, I would have as the undercloth my sandy bedspread. Because what this can show is that in the desert, this is so interesting, when you're on the Nile, right next to the Nile, there in the floodplains, there's palm trees and there's grasses and it's green and lush, and then there's a line, and then there's sand for 5,000 miles. And so it's not like the palm trees get sparse. It's like there is a line. And here's the oasis, and here's the sand. So a river in the desert is life-giving. It makes life happen. And we don't have to manufacture it because it's happening as a gift. And this quality of these divine ways of being are in every single tradition. And actually, I wasn't thinking about telling you about the Nile, but my first quote today is from the ancient Egyptian culture. Akhenaten was a pharaoh in the 14th century BC. This is like so far before Greece, so far before any of those Fertile Crescent civilizations. Akhenaten was the first being that we have any record of that believed in a single holy being and energy. The pantheon of the Egyptian culture, you know, has Isis and Osiris and you know, that god that has the alligator head and that god that has the raven head and then the dog. And there are many, 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 many Egyptian gods, and Akhenaten in his rule had one god. After his rule, they went back for many, many, many hundreds of years to the pantheon. But anyway, this is what Akhenaten said. He created all things, the far-off heavens, mankind, the animals, the birds. Our eyes are strengthened by his beams. And when he shows himself, all flowers grow and live. At his rising, the pastures bring forth. They are intoxicated before his face. All the cattle skip on their feet, and the birds in the marshes flutter with joy. Now that is a peaceful, glorious picture that shows that not only in the Judeo-Christian culture, but in the ancient Egyptian culture, there was this intense well-being. And here's one from the Native American cultures. This is black elk. The first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers. And when they realize at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, and that its center is really everywhere. It is within each of us. So, if something is true, it is true everywhere. So this peace is needed for life, just like water is needed for life in the desert. If the desert did not get water, there would be no life. And if we do not live in peace, there is no life as well. I mean, that's what happens in war. That the quality of life sort of disintegrates. And so peace is attendant with life, love, and beauty, and the infinite is giving this to us all the time. So from our own tradition, Ernest Holmes, this is the very, very last of the chapter on the practice of spiritual healing. And he writes, there is one infinite mind from which all things come. There is one infinite spirit, and every time we say, I am, we proclaim it. There is one infinite substance, and every time we move in it. There is one infinite law, and every time we think, we set this law in motion. There is one infinite God, and every time we speak to this God, we receive a direct answer. One, one, one. All the power there is, all the presence there is, all the love there is, all the peace there is, all the good there is, and the only God there is omnipresent. So, it's here. It's in us, it's around us, it's all the time, and we don't experience it all the time, right? I mean, we don't have that felt sense of infinite well-being all the time, and we don't when we are in conflict with one another. We don't when we doubt ourselves. We don't when we worry about circumstances. When we're in conflict or doubt or worry, we're not in heaven, remember? You remember those times? Very, very different from that felt sense of infinite well-being. And the reason is we're not experiencing that oneness, that one that our founder Ernest Holmes just emphasizes and that we teach all the time. So if you had a little memory as I was talking about a conflict or about a worry or a distress of some kind, and if that sort of pulled you out of that infinite well-being, and if you had that little feeling inside of, ooh, I didn't give it to you. I didn't give that little feeling of separation to you. All I did was say the words about conflict or worry, lack, despair, and it triggered this felt sense in you. This is our continuous work to reprogram our insides so that we are able to move to the absolute truth quickly. We are one with the infinite maker. We are one with each other. We are provided for. We are guided. We are safe. My auntie said, I should have put that in the book, you're as safe as a toad in God's pocket. And remember, the beloved will extend peace to you like a river, and the wealth of the nations like a flooding stream. So if we are in anguish or even a slight sense of worry, it's like we are in a boat on the river of peace, but we feel separate because we're in the boat. We don't even have a toe in the life-giving waters. And I wish there was an instant transformation pill that I could give you, and you could just swallow it and then say, I am in peace forever. Nothing will take me away from this peace. But you know, the work is reminding ourselves over and over and over again that all is well. You know, Jesus, when he was in the boat on the lake and the storm rose, he first of all went to peace, and then he told the storm to be still. So the shift happens in us first, and then miraculously it happens in our outer experience. We have to do it first. We plant the seeds of peace over and over and over again. We change our beliefs from separation to wholeness over and over and over again. We tell ourselves that we are safe and cared for over and over again, no matter what the circumstances. And if you can't do it because of the circumstances, you call your practitioner. I don't know how many times I have called a practitioner and said, please tell me the truth. I can't know it myself. That's why we take classes. And we have conversations with others that promote peace and not conflict. Instead of talking about the awful shootings in Milwaukee, we said, you know what we did on Sunday morning? We honored the peace that the Sikhs honor. And we have a conversation. That's why these two little chairs are there. We have a conversation. Now, there's a story about a wonderful conversation of peace that we have had in this denomination for years and years and years, and I bet you hardly anybody knows about it. And it's about the old peace song that we sing irregularly now, that let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. We're going to sing that today. Well, there's a story about that that's really wonderful, and it's about the conversation of peace. So in 1955, Cy Miller and his wife Jill Jackson, a husband and wife songwriting team, wrote this song about their dream of peace for the world and how they believed each one of us could help it happen by having it start with us. They first introduced the song to a group of teenagers selected from their high schools to attend the week-long retreat in California. The young people were purposefully from different religious, racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds brought together to experiment with creating understanding and friendship through education, discussion groups, and living and working together in a camp situation. So this is what Cy Miller, the writer of this song, says. One summer evening in 1955, a group of 180 teenagers of all races and religions, meeting at a workshop high in the California mountains, locked arms, formed a circle, and sang a song of peace. They felt that singing the song with its simple basic sentiment, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, helped to create a climate for world peace and understanding. Then when they came down from the mountain, they shared it with their friends. Now, 1955 is before the internet. And so that means they had to take the music to their music director at their church and say, this is what we sang at camp. Or they had to take it to their chorus teacher in high school and say, this is what we sang at camp. Or maybe they had an aunt or an uncle that was a musician and they typed it out because they didn't have Xerox machines in 1955 and mailed it with a stamp on it to their aunt or uncle. And this song went around the world. So the first time that I came into a religious science church and I sang this, it was familiar to me because in 1960, 5 years as this was dispersing around the world, my junior high school choir sang it. So The song was spread overseas to Holland, England, Italy, France, Germany, Lebanon, Japan, India, to South America, Central America, Africa, Asia, and Australia. The Maoris in New Zealand sang it. The Zulus in Africa sang it. And then it gives this whole list of people, famous musicians that sang it and played it. I tried to pick some that I thought you might know. Danny Kaye, Nat King Cole, the Smothers Brothers, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, Placido Domingo, Liberace, Bing Crosby, Johnny Mathis, Harry Connick Jr. In Cy Miller's words again, this simple thought, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Firstborn on a mountaintop in the voices of youth, continues to travel heart to heart, gathering in people everywhere who wish to become a note in a song of understanding and peace. Peace for all mankind. And so as we close the service today with this song, I want you to sing it like you've never sung it before. Like you're recognizing these amazing words and these amazing sentiments, and to really own it for yourself. So the power of practice, because I'm back now to the topic of peace is the given, and when we don't feel peace, it's us that has gone away. It's us that needs to change. I mean, God can't force it on us. God can't pound on us and say, remember, there's peace available. It's us that has to change to believe in the wholeness and oneness of all of us and the availability of peace. So it has been my experience that it is easier to practice when we're not threatened with the opposite. So what that means is it's easier to pray and meditate on peace and to speak words of peace and to read people like Thich Nhat Hanh and Buddha and Jesus and remember that peace is available to you when you're already feeling pretty good. That's why daily spiritual practice is so important. You get up and you read something spiritual and you do your prayers, and I sit with my roses with a cat on my lap. It's fabulous. Easier to do that than to find yourself in a major conflict and go, okay, peace is available to me, peace is available to me, and look for it when you're in conflict. So that's why in every spiritual tradition, there are practices of peace. That's why the Peace Pole is available in every single language on earth. You can order these little things and have the languages, 4 different languages that you want put on it, because every single tradition has a practice of peace. This is the one that I absolutely love that reminds me of the desert and the rivers. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. So I put this up on Facebook. This verse from Isaiah as well. We have a Facebook page. The Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living has actually 2 Facebook pages, but there's one that's for public. If you're on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, go to a young person and ask them to bring up this page, because on the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living Facebook page, I posted this from Isaiah and this photograph of wild camels at an oasis. And only 17 people have looked at it. I mean, it is spectacular. There's this water, and I'm telling you, 50 camels in and around this oasis, wild camels. And so I'm going to repost it on my personal page, but go to the GGSCL Facebook page and look at the water that God gives in the desert to take care of the creatures. Now we have another very well-known and cherished lesson in peace, and anybody that went to Sunday school or temple memorized the 23rd Psalm. And so I've got it here for us today. And it's only a part of it here, but I mean, we're going to say it together, but as we say it, I want you to hear that the waters are in it, the fears are in it, the enemies are in it, and the blessings are in it. And the direction of what to do with our enemies and our fears to change them into blessings are in the 23rd Psalm. And you can find it in any Bible, including the computer. Just type in 23rd Psalm, print it out, put it on your mirror in the bathroom or on your refrigerator, and have that be a part of your spiritual practice as you drink coffee. And then you will be prepared for when the storm comes. You'll be prepared for the storm. So you too can say peace and then be still to the storm. So we're going to read this together really slowly. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, I know that I have some real goddess girls here. And I know that I have some people who are not in love with the word Lord. And so you can use any name you want. You can say, the great mother is my shepherdess, I shall not want. You can say, the beloved of my soul maketh me to lie down in green pastures. You can say, Great Spirit leadeth me beside the still waters. If you have a favorite in the pantheons of the past, you can say, Demeter restoreth my soul. She leadeth me in paths of righteousness for her own sake. God doesn't care what you call it. And so there is some, because the infinite presence is everywhere and right here. And the ability to feel intimate with the divine presence is also up to us, because the divine presence feels very intimate with us. So if you feel what? That's you. So find some way to call it something sweet, intimate, loving, connecting, precious, and personal. and use that. And then you will dwell in the house of your infinite being forever. So let's do the inner work now. And as I cast this vision for a world that works for everyone, I see a world where peace prevails. I see a world in which differences are a cause for interest and inquiry, and that there is tolerance and acceptance of differences everywhere. In fact, those differences lead us to love and fascination. And indeed, that feeling of self-love, of just the awe and wonder at being a child of the infinite. That feeling of having that one divine presence live in and through you causes our peace of mind to just become the go-to place, the fallback position, that as we love and honor the life within us, that peace is the natural place in which we dwell. I see a world in which there is no worry for supply or guidance or justice or righteousness. I see a world where peace flows to everyone like that mighty river. That peace prevails for our children, our children's children, to as many generations as we can imagine, beginning with me and you. And so it is. Amen.
With your roots in the earth and your crown in the sky. Oh, little tree, will you grow high with your roots in the earth and your crown in the sky? We bring you water by day so you can grow in the light. We help you on your way, for you are a beautiful sight. So silent is your might, protect us in the glade. Your wisdom shines a light, and we are unafraid. Oh, little tree, you've grown so high with your roots in the earth and your crown in the sky. Oh, little tree, you've grown so high with your roots in the earth and your crown in the sky. Crown in the sky. Crown in the sky. Crown in the sky.
So that was beautiful, wasn't it? So Liz has her products right around here, and kind of same general area as the bookstore. So now is the time for our tithes and offerings. And so if the ushers would get ready, and I'll just talk a little bit about giving. You know, it is the natural thing for us to give. With every exhale, we give into the world. And you know that when you have bestowed a gift on someone that is, you know, smack dab on, how great it feels. And so when you give of your supply to this community, I want you to feel the same way, because your gift enables us to continue. It's as simple as that. We are sustained by each other. And so I give, you give, so that we all may have community together. So if you would just take your gift in your hands and know that this gift creates peace. This gift creates connection. This gift creates community. This gift creates more love and joy. And the ideas for healing, the ideas for creating, all of that that we stand for. And this gift creates that experience of oneness, being a part of the pattern that is holy, sacred, and forever present. And so we just bless the gift and the receiver and the giver and the whole process. And we've got a great song that Liz has brought to us, and it should sound familiar from our past again. So would the ushers please receive the gifts, and we will sing Peace I Ask of Thee, O River. Yeah, just try to do it. We'll learn it.
Peace I ask of thee, O river. Peace, peace, peace. When I learn to live serenely, cares will cease. From the hills I gather courage, visions of the days to be. Strength to lead me, faith to follow, all are given unto me. Peace I ask of thee, O river. Peace, peace, peace. When I learn to live serenely, cares will cease.
Give yourselves a hand. So I bless this offering. I bless all of the givers, and I bless all of us who are the receivers. And I bless the receivers of all of the peace and love that will move forth from us this day as we move into the world. So it is. Amen. Okay, so we're coming to a close here, and I just want to reiterate once again that if you would feel good in giving service to others in the way that Heart to Heart does, there'll be somebody at the Heart to Heart table right back here that you can talk to, and it can be as little a thing as one ride or one meal, or it can be like bigger, but it makes you feel really good. So with that in mind, I would like to ask the practitioners to come forward, and Reverend Sarah is going to pray us out.
And if the other practitioners would surround the room. So I speak my word in the first person for myself and for all that choose to join me in consciousness. I know there is only one power and presence in this universe, It's a power for good, and I am one with it. I am immersed in a healing pool of Spirit's love and ease and joy and comfort, in the peace that passes understanding. And I open my heart to the infinite intelligence and infinite love that is always surrounding me and available to me. I open my mind to the infinite intelligence that is always guiding and directing me. And I open my body to the healing power that is always there, infinite intelligence guiding and directing, healing and harmonizing all that needs to be harmonized and healed for my greater expression and ease. So I accept this as a truth and place it into the law, and simply wait for wonderful reports and delightful surprises. And so it is. Amen.
So I invite you all to stand for our affirmation and then a really, really conscious singing of Let There Be Peace on Earth. So together now, right up here, peace is extended to me in a never-ending flow of contentment and satisfaction. I rely on my divine connection to carry me into the still waters of peace. As I dwell in the house of the infinite, peace moves from me to bless all lives I touch.